Hi guys, welcome to another video. So in today's video, I want to show you how we can build a client-server application in Go with Emitter. And basically, we're going to build a client server on top of publish subscribe, right? So if you're not aware of client server is, it's one of the most common models of distributed applications in the internet. You typically have a set of servers and a set of clients. Right. So clients connect to servers, and if the client needs to talk to another client, it goes through the server, which relays information. And server typically has some capabilities, right? When you go to a restaurant, you order your food, you call a waiter, server, right? You get the food. You don't have to know, like, hey, I need to cook the food, I need to go to the kitchen, right? All of that is abstracted through client, and server is handling all of that for you, right? And you have no, you don't have a control on this. So that's real power. So you can hide a lot of business logic and other things behind on the server, which you own, and let the clients be kind of lighter and connect to the server and just get the service. So how do we do that? So here I have a broker running. I have a key generation page, so we can generate some keys. And it's really going to be kind of live demo from going from scratch. So first thing you want to do, we want to create a server. And how it's going to work really is we have Emitter broker running, and client server communication will go through Emitter broker. Right. So again, we're doing client server through a publish subscribe. So let's start by creating a server. Right. So what we need to do is we initialize our modules, package main. Right. We are going to use some new library which we recently published for Go. It's our version 2 Emitter library, client library. All right, so now we have a main. Let's do the same thing for the client. Let's be lazy, copy paste. Right, initialize the module. Now we have a client in the server. Okay, so how does this work? First of all, we need both be connected to Emitter. Let's import Emitter. github.com Emitter Go v2, and then we can connect. Right, we are connecting to local broker, port 8080. And it also asks you for this message handler, which we will provide a function, let's say client. So it's a Emitter client, really. And then the message. Emitter message. Right. So this is a new library. So it basically does it connects to broker and then hooks up the handler and does all of that for you. Right. It makes it kind of simpler to reason about and write programs. So let's actually write received message. I have no idea what we're going to build, so it's going to be fun. And the message message payload. Right, let's try if it works. I have a console here actually. Let's use this instead. All right, so that's wrong. Okay, so basically it does it connects and leaves, right? Because we're not actually doing anything after this, so it just stops. And let's copy the same thing in the client as well, right? So far, client and server actually look the same because they are just connecting to the broker, do nothing else. Now, let's start by creating a couple of channels. So let's imagine an application, maybe we just want to send some messages. Okay, so what do? Let's consider this. Let's have our client. Once connected, so this returns a client. And I think an error. So what's going on? Okay, the client want to maybe publish, and publish takes a key, channel, the payload, and some options, right? So let's create a key for this channel. Let's call it demo. So we're going to publish onto a demo channel. We want to read and maybe write. And let's create a private sub channel. Let's get this key. All right. Now I'm connecting and we're publishing. I'm not doing anything else yet. So if I run the client now, that should work. Right. You can see there's some activity in the broker. Actually goes and connects and stops. Okay. Now, what we'll also need is demo channel for the server, right? We want to read and write to everything. Okay, now let's go back to the server and subscribe. Let's get some space. Okay, so now subscribe to demo. Actually, everything. And in the new API, what you can also do is provide a handler as well, but let's not do this. All right. Right, client subscribe. All right, and handler, should we have a handler? Maybe new handler. We don't need a handler right now. And let's hang this. Oh. Okay, so I have a client which works and publish the message. Now server will never stop. All right, so now we receive the message here. And this should be maybe a string. So now we can does it work again? All right, payload. A string. Okay. So now we publish a message, the server receives the message, right? So far, so good. So basically what we're doing here is the server has more capabilities than the client does. Now the problem as well with this approach is if I create another client, well, publish on the same channel, I cannot distinguish between two different clients. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back to our client and create a private channel. Right, we create a private link. We'll provide the key to the same. So we need the key, we need a channel, we need a name of the link. Right, let's name it, I don't know, server S. Right, we need to tell it whether they want to subscribe or not. And let's actually do that. Let's actually subscribe. So now we have a private link, which would return us a link in there, but we don't need anything. Let's just check error. Right, we'll panic if this basically does a subscription and creates a private link. Now we can publish with link, and now we called it S, so we have S and then say hi, right? Now if I do that, remember my server is still running, actually I haven't changed it. Now we still have received message, right? We have received the message hi. Let's go back to the server and let's print as well the topic. Should build this. Now you notice we received a message on this particular private channel, and I have a separate video explaining what the private channels are and how to create those links and things like this. But basically we have received a message hi, and if I create a new client, now this is another client, this is different, right? So now every single client of that particular server now has a separate channel we can talk to, right? So an example would be, let's reply. So another thing is in subscriptions now you can move this, and let's move this in a separate function. So it'll be a bit cleaner to understand. Let's call it on message. That happens when we receive the message. Right. And this will get invoked when we get unknown message. So we'll use on message. Right. So the subscription will get filtered, and only if we hit in the demo channel, then we get a received message. Otherwise, if we receive something on a non-emitter, then we get an unknown message, right? So now we have a received message, so this gets called. Now we have this, we could send back something. So we can use our key. Oops, sorry. Take our key. And then publish onto the same topic. Hi there. Right? Now let's say this is our server, and what did this do? Okay, I forgot the parentheses here. Okay, so now this is our server, and that's our client, right? So now the problem is we send back on this channel, right? We send hi there, and then we listen and subscribe back. So we reply to ourselves, and that's not good. That's not what we want. Right? So how do we do this? How do we subscribe but ignore ourselves? Because there's no point, right? When we have a channel which we want to talk to someone else, not ourselves. We don't need to do network communication to talk to ourselves. So we've introduced recently a new option just to do that. So emitter without, I forgot the exact name. I think it's called without me, without echo. Right, and essentially what this does is it builds this option me equals 0. So we can say, okay, subscribe to the demo channel, but don't do echo. Right, actually, sorry, this is on publish. So we'll publish without echo. So let's stop this. Now the server is running. Now we only got it once, right? Now we have fixed this part. Let's do some printing. Server starting, not started. Print out server started, so we can know. Okay, server started. Publish. This sends a message hi. However, this didn't receive anything. Why didn't it? Well, because it just stopped. So we never actually listen to any changes. Let's delay. We have subscribed, so let's delay this just for a few seconds, or for 1 second. Time sleep, time second, right? So this should give us enough time to receive the message back. Now we have received the message, and let's print it again. Print the same way, actually like this, with the topic. So our client now connects, sends a message, receives the response. So sends a message hi, server receives hi, then server sends hi there back, right? So this basically establishes one-to-one communication, and I can have several servers, several clients running, and they all can be independent from one another. So let's do something else. Let's kind of extend this a little bit. Let's make it an echo server. So the point of the server, I'm gonna echo whatever this is, or maybe even like uppercase it, for example. All right, so we have receive the message here. Let's not print out. No, there's no point. Let's take this message. Let's do something with it. So the server would provide some service, right? So whatever service you want to do here, it could be a video game, it could be just a server. Let's, in our case, just do something silly. So prepare a response. It's uppercase, whatever we received. right? We take the payload, we uppercase it, that's our response, and then we publish the response on the topic. Okay. So what does it do? Well, remember we have been sending hi to this, so continue. Now we received hi in all caps back, right? Now let's extend it a bit. Let's scan the line. Haven't used it in a while. How does this work? And an error. Right, so we can scan. And every time we scan something, we want to publish the text. Okay, that should work. All right, sorry. So we do not want to exit until maybe we press some. If there's an error, return. Okay, so we scan, and that should work. And if text is Q, then return. Right? So we basically loop in until we get Q. Whatever is not Q, there is not Q. We get, right? And for a better user interface, say enter some text or Q to exit. So let's see if this works. So hi there, and it didn't work. What did I do wrong? There's an error. Oh, expected new line. Okay. Think spaces, some text, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it. We can type. Just some spaces don't work. I haven't checked this out, but details, right? So this is how you really build a client-server application. Now we have a service, which is, well, echoing and uppercasing. Pretty silly service, but it proves a point. You can actually build this with a publish subscribe. And we also have security, right? So all those channels are actually dedicated for those connections. So a new client comes in and it's always a new, it's always a new connection, and it's always a new dedicated channel, right? So those things keep changing. That's pretty much it. thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and click this like button if you like the video, and let me know if you want something else. Thank you.